The Show Designer 1 is a DMX lighting controller based on the successful and simple to use Show Designer. The Show Designer 1 adds to the existing features of the original Show Designer while remaining upperly compatible with the memory files. This will allow you to copy any memory files from an older Show Designer to the new Show Designer 1. Memory files include all setup information as well as scenes and shows. 16 lighting fixtures up to 32 channels each can be controlled from a DMX-512 output. Control of up to 512 DMX lighting channels is possible. Support of Elation lighting fixtures as well as other popular brands are included in the setup menu. The operating system uses flash memory so the software can be updated from a computer via an RS-232 port. Software updates will be made available on the Elation website at www.elationlighting.com. The power input. The power input is for an external 9V DC 500 mA power supply that is included. The audio input. This is an RCA input used for syncing chases to an external audio source. The RS-232 connector. This is used for a connection to a PC to update the software or back up the memory. It can also be used to connect to a mouse or trackball. The MIDI in and out ports. These are used for calling scenes in an automated installation via a MIDI controller or MIDI sequencer. The DMX output. This is used to run out and into your DMX fixtures. The polarity switch. This switch swaps pins 2 and 3. Some lighting fixtures receive data minus on pin 2 and some on pin 3. The more commonly used polarity is data minus on pin 2 and positive on pin 3, which is this setting. The 8-channel faders. These 8 faders are used to control the individual channels within each fixture or fixture group. The bank switch is used to select the bank of 8 faders that you require active. The LEDs indicate the active bank. The 16 number switches are multi-purpose. The function switches to the right determine their purpose. The fixture button allows you to select fixtures for programming or manual manipulation. Up to 16 individual fixtures, each consisting of up to 32 channels, can be controlled with this console using the 1 through 16 switches. The preset switch. The preset contains channel settings within a fixture or group of fixtures. A preset provides fast and easy programming of scenes by giving you instant access to colors and gobos without having to search through channel levels with the faders and the data wheel. Up to 512 presets can be stored into 32 pages. Each preset page holds 16 presets. There are also 2 factory preset pages that support most Elation fixtures. The record switch. This is used to store a preset chase, scene, or show into Show Designer 1's memory. The chase switch. The chase is a sequence of steps that create motion or quick repetitive changes. Each chase step incorporates identical hold and fade times. 256 chases can be programmed into 32 pages. Each chase page holds 16 chases. There are also 3 factory pages that contain 16 built-in chase movements each. The scene switch. A scene is a recording of the state for all your fixtures. A scene can include a chase or group of chases, a preset or group of presets, and manual channel adjustments of selected fixtures. A fade time ranging between 0 and 25.5 seconds can be set for each scene. Incorporating a fade time to a scene will give you a smoother transition between scenes during playback. 1024 scenes can be programmed into 64 pages. Each scene page holds 16 scenes. The show. A show is a sequence of scenes that can be played back at pre-programmed times. Before recording a show, you must first record scenes. Up to 256 shows can be programmed into 16 pages. Each show page holds 16 shows. The audio switch. The audio switch enables the audio input as a trigger for chase steps when selected. The beat switch. The beat switch allows you to override the tempo or beat of a chase by tapping on the button in time to any music that's currently playing. The black switch. The black switch will stop all activity and black out all fixtures. Pressing and holding the black switch for 2 seconds will force all DMX channels to 0. The fine switch. The fine switch affects the way the joystick operates. When fine mode is selected, moving the joystick will increment or decrement by the smallest possible amount. The menu switch. The menu switch is used to configure the Show Designer 1 for your particular lighting setup. The add switch. The add switch is used to add a chase or show step when in record mode. The add switch is also used to access a couple of hidden menu options. The erase switch. The erase switch is used to erase undesired information from the Show Designer 1's memory. The enter switch. The enter switch is used when recording chase and show steps. It is also used to select various menus that appear in the display. The enter switch must always be pressed following any changes made to a menu option to make it permanent. The left and right arrow switches. These switches are used to move a cursor that appears in the display left and right. The plus yes and minus no switches. These switches are used to select and scroll through settings for various menus that appear in the display. The joystick. The joystick controls pan and tilt of all selected fixtures that incorporate a pan and tilt feature. The data wheel. The data wheel is used to scroll through menu options. The LCD display. The LCD displays all relevant information depending on the operation. The up-down page switches. These are used to scroll through your preset, scene, chase, and show pages. The page display. This shows the current preset page, chase page, scene page, or show page that is currently active. We must first configure the Show Designer 1 for the fixtures that we are going to be controlling. To do this, we must select from a list of lighting fixtures in the fixture library. First, press the menu button. The display will read press enter to, followed by one of the menu options. We must get to the choose fixture option. Use the minus no and plus yes buttons to scroll through the menu options, or use the data wheel. Once you get to the choose fixture option, press enter. Use the right arrow switch to move the cursor underneath the N in no fixture. Then use the plus and minus keys to scroll through the fixture library. You can also use the data wheel to scroll a little faster. We're going to be controlling 4 Power Spot 250s today, so I'm going to go ahead and press enter to select the Power Spot 250 as fixture number 1. Because we have our auto patch on, it asks us that some addresses may change. We want to go ahead and say OK, so that we can go ahead and keep the patches that the controller is giving us. Once again, either use the plus and minus no switches to scroll through the next fixture, or use the data wheel. We're now at fixture 2, in which case I will press the right cursor key once again, then use the plus minus no switches or the data wheel to scroll to my next fixture. Again, I'll be controlling 4 Power Spot 250s today, so I'm going to find Power Spot 250 and once again press enter. We must once again press the yes switch to confirm the automatic patch. We've now stored fixtures 1 and 2. Again, we'll use the plus and minus switches to scroll through our next fixture, or use the data wheel. We're now at fixture 3. Press the right cursor button, then use the plus minus no switches to select your next fixture, or use the data wheel. Press enter, followed by yes to confirm the automatic patch. Repeat these steps until you've entered all fixtures. Once you've entered all fixtures, press the menu key one time. The next menu option we want to get into is the patch fixture setting. Press the plus yes or minus no switches or the data wheel to get to press enter to patch fixtures. Once you're there, press enter. This tells us that auto patch is on and fixture 1 should start on DMX channel 1. Now these settings will vary depending on everyone's lighting setup. I'm using 4 power spots, so it's going to automatically patch the power spots for me. This is telling me that my first power spot should be addressed at DMX channel number 1. If I press the plus yes button or use the data wheel, I'll get to fixture number 2. This tells me that fixture 2 should start at DMX channel 17. So I would address my second fixture to start on DMX channel 17. Press the plus yes button or use the data wheel to get to your third fixture. In my case, my third power spot should be addressed to DMX channel 33, so I would set it now to DMX channel 33. I'll press the plus yes button once again or use the data wheel to get to the next fixture. Here it tells me that the fourth fixture should start on DMX channel 49, so I would set mine to start on DMX channel 49 at this time. Once again, everyone's patch will be different depending on your lighting setup. To exit, press the menu switch 2 times. To gain control of the fixtures in your setup, press the fixture button so the red LED illuminates. Next, using the 1 through 16 switches, select the fixtures that you wish to operate. I have 4 power spots in here, which I've now selected, indicated with the red LEDs. I'll then use the 8 faders along with my bank button to gain control of those fixtures. Knowing that my shutter and dimmer are in bank 2 on channels 15 and 16, I'll go to those channels and bring them up. I can press the bank button so that the first bank becomes active, then use faders 1 and 2 to control the pan and tilt, or use the joystick to control pan and tilt. This is really just up to your preference. I can change the colors because my fixture has its color wheel on DMX channel 7 by adjusting fader 7 at this time. Pressing the bank button gets me down to where my gobo wheel is and allows me to select the gobo that I want. Gobo rotation is on channel 12. So setting that where I want it gives me my gobo rotation. Presets provide fast and easy programming of scenes by giving you instant access to colors, gobos, and beam settings without searching through channel levels with the faders. Show Designer 1 allows you to record up to 32 pages of 16 presets for a total of 512 presets. Unlike scenes which record the look of the entire stage, presets are used to record only several channels worth of information. Presets can then be recalled and layered to make a scene. In addition to 32 pages available for the presets that you can create, there are 2 pages labeled F1 and F2. These pages are for factory presets. These are presets that are already programmed for you when you install Elation fixtures. The F1 page is for colors and the F2 page is for gobos and beam effects. It is also important to note that when recording a preset, you should only adjust the channels that you want to record presets for. For example, if you want to record color presets, then you should only adjust the color channel. You will have to open the shutter and dimmer before getting into the preset record mode. To record the preset, we're going to select the fixtures that we want included into our preset. I'll select fixtures 1, 2, 3, and 4 as I am controlling 4 power spot 250s. I'll then open the shutter and dimmer so I can visibly see my preset colors that I want to record. Next, press the record button. The record LED will begin to flash. Next, press the preset button. Its LED will also begin to flash. The page display will show the current page, and any number locations that already contain presets will be lit. However, we have no presets recorded into page 32, that's why none of these are lit. We can change page numbers using the up-down arrow switches. We'll select page 1. Any adjustments made from this point forward with the faders or the joystick will be recorded into your preset. So be careful to not include a channel that you do not want included into your preset. Being that I'm going to record colors, I'll now bank up to the first bank, being that my color wheel is on channel 7. Having adjusted channel 7 to the bottom, I can now record this as my first preset. But before I record it, I'm going to go ahead and name the preset using the plus and minus switches along with the right and left cursors. I'll use the plus and minus switches to change the character. Okay, I'm going to name this preset white. I'll press the right cursor switch to move to the next character. Then once again use the plus and minus keys to change the letters. You can also use the data wheel to change the characters. Now that I've named it, I can go ahead and store it on any of the 1 through 16 number buttons. I'll select button 1. The white preset has now been stored. I can then adjust my channel 7, which is the color channel, to the next color, which is blue. I'll now name this preset blue. Once again, you can use the plus and minus switches or use the data wheel. Now that I name my second preset, I can go ahead and store it to the next location. That preset has now been recorded. I'll once again adjust my color channel to the next color, which is orange. Name my preset. Once that's entered, I can just store it on the next available number button. You would continue to do this over and over until you recorded all your presets. It's advised that you record all color presets on one page and scroll to a different page when you decide to record gobo and beam presets. To exit, press the record button. A chase is a sequence of steps that create motion or quick repetitive changes. Each chase step is a recording of selected channel levels and/or presets. The steps are then played back in a continuous loop at a pre-programmed chase speed. Unlike scenes, chases do not affect the entire stage but only the channels that you include in the chase. This allows you to chase things such as colors, gobos, or beam positions. You can then run as many as 8 chases at the same time, allowing you to combine them into one scene. It is important to note that when recording a chase, you should only adjust the channels that you want included into the chase. For example, if you want to record a 2-step pan chase, then you should only adjust the pan channel and nothing else. You have to open the shutter and dimmer before getting into the record chase mode so that you can view the beam positions. To record a chase, press the fixture button so that its LED illuminates. Then select the fixtures that you wish to include into your chase by pressing on the 1 through 16 buttons. I'll select fixtures 1 through 4 as I'm controlling 4 PowerSpot 250s. Next, press the record button, which will automatically have its LED flashing. Next, press chase as we want to record a chase. The page display will show the current page, and any number locations that already contain chases will be lit. However, we have none lit because there are no chases stored to this controller yet. Pages F1, F2, and F3 are for factory chases and cannot be recorded on. So we'll select page 1. The display will show the current chase step, speed, and fade status. Any adjustments using the faders made from this point forward will be included into the chase. So be careful not to touch any channel faders that you don't want included. Next, adjust the channel or channels for your first chase step. So far, I've opened the shutter and dimmer and adjusted my pan tilt settings. As I only want to record pan and tilt movements at this point, I will go ahead and store this as my first chase step. To do this, I press the enter switch one time. Your chase step will advance by 1. Once again, using the faders or the joystick, set your second chase step. Once again, I'll press enter to advance to my next step. I'll once again use the faders or the joystick to set my third and final chase step. It's important to note when you've reached your last step and you know you're not going to be recording any more steps that you do not press enter. Select the page using the up-down arrow buttons to select the page where you want to store it, which we've selected page 1. We can then use the cursor, the right arrow cursor button, to select a name for our chase. We can use the plus and minus switches to change the characters. We can also use the data wheel to adjust our characters. Pressing the cursor button one time moves the cursor to the next character, in which case we can then use the plus minus buttons or the data wheel. I've abbreviated this for pan tilt chase. I can then move my cursor to the bottom line, which reads allow beat audio. This affects the way the controller will work when you select the audio button or the beat button. If I want to allow my chase to be manipulated by sound or to the tap of the beat button, then I'll leave this as it stands now. If I want to change it, I can use the plus minus buttons to change it between allow beat and audio or no beat audio. You can also use the data wheel. Getting back to our main screen, pressing the left cursor button gets us to our first screen, in which case we can then adjust our chase speed, which is currently set at 240 BPM. Using the data wheel, we can adjust each value by adjusting up or down. Moving the cursor to the right gets us to the percentage setting, which is for our fade time. A 100% fade time will give us smoother movements between chase steps. We can adjust this from 0 to 100%. To store the chase, select one of the 16 number buttons. The display will momentarily read chase recorded, and the number 1 button will have its LED lit at this point. Our chase has now been stored. To exit, press the record button. You can also record chases using presets. To do so, press the fixture button, then select the fixtures that you wish to record into your chase. It's important to note that you must have presets recorded for the selected fixtures to be able to include the presets into the chase. I'll now open the dimmer and shutter, as I did not include these 2 channels in any of my presets. Next, Press the record button. Its LED will begin to flash. Then press the chase button. Its LED will also begin to flash. Next, select the preset button so that its LED illuminates steady on. We can then select from our pages containing those presets. As I recorded my color presets on page 1, I'll select button number 3, which is my preset orange color. I'll then press the up arrow button to page 2 where I recorded my gobo presets. I'll select one of my gobo presets. I'll press the up arrow button to get to page 3, which contains beam presets, which are beam positions. Once I've selected all of my desired presets, I can store this as a chase step. You do so by pressing the enter button. As a result, your chase step will advance by 1. Select the new beam position by selecting a desired preset. I'll press the down arrow button to get to page 2, which contains my gobo presets. I'll then go down to page 1, which contains my color presets, and select the new color. Once you've selected all your desired presets, press enter. I'll enter one more step by selecting a new color preset. Page up to my gobo page. Select the new gobo, and I'll page up to my beam position preset page and select the new preset. It's important to note that you do not press enter when recording the last step in the chase. Doing so will add an empty chase step. At this point, press the preset button to exit preset mode. Use the right cursor key to adjust your cursor to the right so that you can get into this screen, which allows you to name your chase. You then use the data wheel to adjust the characters, or the plus and minus switches to adjust the characters. Name your chase as you desired. Press the right cursor key to get you to the second line. This line allows you to change the beat and audio settings. To get to the main menu, press the left cursor key so that the cursor moves to its left so that you can set a speed time. It's currently set to 100 BPM. Pressing the plus yes key adjusts it up, or you can use the data wheel to adjust your speed to run faster, or down to run slower. Pressing the right cursor key, you can adjust the fade time. It's displayed in percentages. You can then use the plus or minus keys to adjust that time, or the data wheel. You can adjust this from 0 to 100%. The higher the percentage, the smoother the movements are between chase steps. Once you've set all your chase settings, we can store our chase to any of the 16 buttons. Unless we want to record over chase number 1, which has its LED illuminated, we want to select one of the buttons that doesn't have an LED illuminated. We'll select button number 2. Our chase has now been recorded. To exit, press the record button. To play back a chase, press the chase button. Using the up-down arrow buttons, select the page that contains the chase that you wish to play back. Then press one of the 1 through 16 buttons that contains the chase that you wish to play back. The chase will begin to play back immediately. Pressing the same number button blacks out your chase. Pressing it again reactivates it. Playback a chase using the beat button. Press the chase button. Select the page that contains the chase that you wish to play back. I'll select chase 1 on page 1.